Hello everybody. Angie here. I'm coming on to do a make for you guys with my hashtag 1 to 6 picks challenge glue book edition. This is a series I've been running ever since the beginning of the year. I am up to week 41 and it is where I roll a single die. Whatever number that lands on, I select that number of random prompts and we just do a glue book spread with it. Just an easy collage make, keep it simple, way to use up your scraps, keep a creative flow going, and just have a little bit of fun and challenge yourself. Okay, so I hope you've been enjoying this series. As I said, I am up to week 41, and the prompt that was chosen, I rolled a 1, and the word was fancy. So I've got some pieces here. We're going to knock this right out, guys, okay? Now for the prompt that I'm going to be using, let me kind of bend my book open a little bit here. I found this little image here, a little digital, of these beautiful ladies. Okay, so I'm going to use one of these, and I think I'm actually more drawn to this one with the 3 ladies here. So I think I'll use that, and it fits right within my glue book. I could do both, but I think that's kind of overdoing it, and I want to add some other elements to it as well. So yeah, I think that'll be a little bit much. So let's just save that for another day, and we'll use this one. Okay, let's get started. How is everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing good. And okay, it's a little bit of overcast. I hope you can see okay. I've got some things, just grabbed some random containers that I thought would add to the prompt of fancy. I grabbed some vintage washi sticker elements along with some lace trims. I grabbed some background papers. I just grabbed some bits and pieces that I throw pieces in here. We might go through there. I grabbed some flat back pearls. Maybe we can use some of that. Some crocheted elements, some lace trim, gold trim, things like that, just to add to the word fancy. Okay, so let's start with our background papers. I'm working out of my little 5x7 collage book here. Let's see, I've got some green and some kind of grayish, yellow, orangish red. Let's see what I can find in this pile. And it's just a whole bunch of cut down pieces of 12 by 12 papers. When I get really low on a 12 by 12 piece, maybe there's only 3 or 4 pieces left, I'll cut them down to like a moderate size, like a 4 by 6, and just stack them up, and then they're ready to go for when I'm ready to use them. I can tear them into smaller pieces if I want. Okay, so let me just kind of browse through here. And then these are just a few little extra stamped prints that I have. They're about the same size, so I just stuck them in there. All right, let's see what catches my eye. That's kind of nice, but it's kind of dark as well. That's kind of a nice bright color. It's got some of the color of her dress, kind of, sort of. As well as this one, I thought had a little bit of green in it. Let's see. Here's one with a little green. Maybe we can use the 2 of those to kind of accent the colors in their dresses, maybe. Maybe use all 3. We'll just use 2. Okay, that's a start. Okay. So as this series is open to anybody that is interested, if you're seeing this video for the first time, please feel free to join in. Let me know. I would love to support your channel and your makes as well. Okay, I think I may use some of these pretty little stickers. Let's see what else I've got in here. And these are all just little stamped images that I stamp and cut them down. They're kind of ready for collages and, you know, different ephemera pieces to use in makes. Here's a couple washi stickers, similar colors. Maybe that. Here's some plain brown background paper. Maybe we can incorporate a little bit of that. I like to do colors in threes and pieces in threes when I can. And we got some labels. Okay, we'll come back to that. Okay, I think that's a good start there. Hold on. Here's some little vintage pieces. Postcard. Okay, I think that's enough. That's enough there. Okay, so we can get that out of the way. And then the other pieces will be for added prettiness, fanciness, as they say, what the prompt says. Let's make sure I'm in frame. Okay. All right, let's see what we can work with here. I think I'm just going to tear some of these pieces down. And we're going to build on a nice background here. I'm going to use glue stick because I did not unstick my wet glue, so hopefully I won't need that because I don't have a pin to get that unjammed. Try to remember to do that prior to videoing, and I forget quite often. Sorry. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to need a pen. Cut this down. And some scissors. Try and do as straight as I can. That'll work. And let's see, maybe we can add some of this in to the background. Trim it down a little bit, I think. I like that. Just kind of slide it under. And down we go. Okay. Pull this back a little bit. Yep, let's do that. All right, let's see if we can get this down. Okay, just layer some pretty colors here. Let's see, kind of want this in there as well. Yep, I think I do. Let's add a little ink also. I'm going a little heavy on it. Okay, I like that. Maybe I can even use. I'm on for the next 3 months. If you haven't seen my previous video already, a goal to just use what I have. I am doing no purchasing for 3 months. And I don't know if that comes easy or difficult for you guys, but it can be a little difficult for me at times just because there's nothing I need. Absolutely not. But, you know, we just tend to want the newest thing in the crafting world, and I see something and I'm like, oh. So I'm trying to not purchase anything until April. So that's forcing me to just kind of use what I've got and do the best I can with what I have. I was going to tuck some glue in there, but I may want to still tuck something under there, so I'll hold off. All right, kind of covered a lot of that red. I like that red. I think maybe I should bring in a little bit more red. Just a little piece. Okay, I like that. All right, and I've also got these fun little, I think they're little washi stickers. I'm not going to put those down yet. Let's see. Kind of like that color. Let's just kind of lay that there for a moment and bring in our ladies, our fancy ladies. That's the prompt. And they completely cover up that background. So I think we're just going to tear it down a smidge. There we go. Makes it a little bit smaller. I like that better. See where I want to position them. I want a little bit of that showing, so maybe, let's see. Maybe something like that. I'm kind of drawn toward that there. Maybe I'm just trying to put in too many elements. I'm not sure which it is. I like that, like that. Okay, we're going to stop there. I'll leave these pieces alone for a moment. Let's go to, I definitely want to ink that though. Let me do that real quick. These Victorian vintage ladies. And their fancy clothing. Going to the opera or something for the night, the theater. Could just be having brunch, who knows? Okay, let me look at my lace. don't really want to use blue because I don't have anything in there blue. I have this little piece of rose gold. Maybe that. That looks pretty. Okay, I like that. Let's move that out of the way. Let me look in my flat back pearls here. Got some smaller pieces here. Maybe we can. That's nice, but it's a little bulky, but that would be nice right there. Got some small green ones. Let's see. Trying to see if I want this or this. Nope, I don't want that. Okay, I'm liking that, so let's do that. Okay. And I'm just going to put this down with glue stick, but I am 99% sure I will have to go back over it with the wet glue. But just for sake of video and hold it in place so you guys will see how I want the piece to look, I'm just going to use glue stick for now, okay? But I do not want to trouble you guys while I try to find a straight pin to unstick my glue. All right, so that'll go there, and I'm liking that. Yes, I am. So let's put that down. One more. No. Okay, let's put this strip of lace here. Very pretty. And I just have to decide, do I want to go with, these are kind of like a pale pink. Put that down across, or do I want to go with some nice big beautiful white pearls? What do you think? Probably the white, huh, since I've got the white. But I do want to break up that color a little bit as well, so I'm just kind of torn here. Let me think about this for a second. I'm not going to glue that down yet. I'm going to think about that. And while I do, let's look at these pretty little vintage washi, not washi, transparent stickers that I've got. Let's see if we can incorporate any of these pretty pieces in here. Just going to look through a few of them, see what catches my eye. And right away, I like that one. This was a pack of stickers I got from Temu last year. Oh, I just absolutely love these. And I like the fact that I'm not gonna buy anything so far, because these particular stickers right here, I have not picked them up in at least 6 months. And look at these. Look at all these gorgeous stickers. So it's forcing me to go back through and look through what I have. And you know, I like these stickers and these things for a reason, because I bought them, right? So, you know, we've got to use what we've got. Oh, you're so pretty. I like that one. Oh, look at that. It says Happy Women's Day. Maybe they're celebrating Women's Day. What do you guys think? Should we use that? Maybe we can kind of tuck these under a little bit. I like that. We're just going to use that. We're going to use the butterfly as well. One down. How about that? Now I'm thinking for sure I do want to use that, because that will offset and won't make that white look quite so bright. What do you think? And here's one sticker laying all by itself. We're going to go ahead and use that. It has some similar colors. I'm going to try and tuck it behind. I'm going to have to cut it down just a little bit. Just want a little bit of it peeking out. Maybe we can use this somewhere else. Let's see. Okay. Nope, I don't like that. Let me just browse through a couple more. Make sure I don't want to add anything else. I'm thinking another flower here though. And I see one right here. No. Yep, we'll use this one. That down in there. I like it. Okay. Yes, they're sitting by the garden, enjoying Women's Day. I love it. Love it. Okay, I think I'm going to use this as well. Put a little glue there, put that down. As best we can. Okay, now let's do green. See how quickly I changed my mind? Now in this series, you can, you know, they're your makes, of course, but you can just go as wild and have as much fun with each piece as you want. You know, just the prompts are just as a guide, you know, to kind of help get you started. You know, like, what am I supposed to do with the word fancy? You know, and before you know it, you'll come up with something that you're happy with. And these ladies definitely incorporate the word fancy. They've got their best attire on and they're out enjoying Women's Day. Just make a beautiful piece, and I'm sure that you will be happy when you get done. I like that. See that? Look at how nice that is. And I think I'm going to use a couple of these smaller ones. Piece of my hair. Oh, one just went flying somewhere. Grab another one. Okay, I like that. Let me look at that. I feel like we need something right here for some reason. I guess because all of that transparent, the glossiness of it, I feel like I need, maybe not, maybe. Maybe a piece of this green to come over. Just a thin strip, I'm thinking. Something. I feel like I need a little something just to break that up. I might be overthinking this, but let me just take a second to see if I like it. No, I don't. Okay. A little more glue on there. Okay. Well, that looks really nice. Okay. Let me just double check, see if there's anything else that I might want to add. Maybe that. I kind of like that color. I think I am just going to overlay that right there. I think I like that. Bring it over just a bit though. There we go. I want that there, but I want this on top. Yep. Just the little things is what matters. I like that much better. Okay. Is that going to be it? I think so. What do you guys think? We got 3 ladies in their best attire, out celebrating Women's Day, having a brunch, or what have you they did back in those days, you know. Going to opera, who knows? Look at that. That's very pretty. A lot of color, very, very fancy. I like it. Okay, guys, I'm going to call that done. And before I let you go, I need to pull and roll my die for the next make. So let me grab my bucket, and we'll do that real quick. All right, move all this stuff out of the way. Put that to the side. Get my die out. And there's still a lot of prompts in there, guys. It doesn't look like many, but there's a lot in there. I do not look. Once they've been selected, I discard them so they don't get reused a second time. Okay, so give it a shake and a roll. Let's see what we get. 2. All right, I got to pull 2 prompts out of here at random and use those for our next make. Okay, let's see. There's 1 and 2. Let's see what we've got. Prompt 1 is the color white. Okay. And second is upside down. Okay, well, that'll be fun. All right, guys, and then anything else that you want to incorporate in your make as well is fine. All right, but I have to use white and upside down in my next make. But for the word fancy, I think this came out really, really nice. They look very fancy, enjoying their Women's Day. All right, guys, well, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by my channel. If you found something of value, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Leave me a comment and a like. Let me know what you think of the series and today's make. But as always, take care, God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.